Hi and welcome to this week's energy forecast. I am Rachel Thompson Phillips, the creator of the BU Oracle cards and also Secret Psychic online program. This week's energy forecast is for March the 4th through till March the 10th. This week we have a really big week on an energetic level. On the 5th we have Mercury going retrograde. If you haven't had a chance to go in and read my blog about what Mercury retrograde offers, please find the link below. And then on the 6th and the 7th, depending on the location of where you're at, we have a new moon. So we have a lot of vibrational frequencies occurring this week. So let's see how the cards offer us guidance on how to work with all of this huge energy that is presenting itself this week. The first card for Monday and Tuesday is the card of steps. Wednesday through till Friday is the card of oceans calling. Saturday and Sunday is the card of soul. So let's see what each card's message is for us. Monday and Tuesday is the card of steps. Steps is the card that shows up when it comes in to remind us that everything in your life has shown up exactly how it's supposed to. You signed a soul contract before you entered into this world, and now with all the knowledge and the information that you've learned along the way is now providing you with this great opportunity to use that knowledge to your advantage. With Mercury retrograde, it can be quite, what's the word for it? Mercury retrograde is the time where we need to really be very, very mindful of the words that we speak to ourselves. This week's current theme is about soul cleansing through our language that we use. It's really important that for many of you, you would have all heard the concept around match the vibration through the language that you speak to be able to attract what it is that you want. Mercury retrograde can bring up times of internal frustration, and we can start to language in ways that are very, very self-destructive. So Monday and Tuesday is reminding you that it's really pertinent that you start using the language to be able to match what it is that you want to manifest with the new moon. So even though you may find those old conditioning ways of which you've spoken to yourself before present itself, you still have an opportunity to go in and change it. For me, the mantra that I have been using, or the little saying that I've always been saying to myself these last couple of weeks, is focus on building the new. The moment I say that, it immediately interrupts my mind from thinking about anything that's lower vibrating and brings me back to that calibration of being able to bring in that self-accountability and responsibility to say, hey, is this language that I'm using, is this really what I believe? And 9 times out of 10, the answer to that question is no. But what it does is it reshifts my focus to bring me back into alignment to the direction that I want to go in. So it's really important that although we use this knowledge base of going, oh, I know I need to speak nicer to myself, and I know I need to become a match, and I know I need to become the energy vibration of what I want to attract, a lot of the times we keep that in our mind. We don't allow it to actually fall down into our beingness and actually start applying it through a conscious creation. Monday and Tuesday is reminding you of that conscious creation, reminding you of just how incredibly powerful you are and that you can create change and magic in your world through the language and the vibration of the words that we express. Now, what I mean by that is we can just go through and say a mantra or say a statement to our own self, but we're using that consciousness, that logic part of our mind. But when we actually drop down and bring those words into a feeling component, this is where things start to rapidly change for us. We want to feel the words of the vibration be able to emanate through every part of your beingness, so that it's not just a conscious thought. It's about consciously being aware that you want to create change through the language that you use, and then being consciously aware to go, okay, I need to match the frequency. So when I express these words to myself around creating the new, I actually want to feel them so that I start believing them and I start creating this whole new frequency in my own self that starts to allow me to become a miracle magnet. Now, this is what Monday and Tuesday brings us through. But what can happen is sometimes we can get into this, what I call a head funk, where we start going and having these push and pull type antics going on within ourselves, which is, again, an old conditioning where we start to feel we need to fight with ourselves. What the energy in the oracle cards come through and suggest for you on Wednesday through till Friday, because it can become so exhausting when you get into this internal conflict within your own self, creating these beautiful new changes, is that we start to get exhausted. So Wednesday through to Friday suggests that we get to the ocean, because what it does is it restores balance. It brings that beautiful unity of mind, body, soul, and spirit together to start working cohesively. And it also works at that gorgeous time when we have the new moon. And as we know, the new moon is about planting the seeds of what you want to attract and manifest before the next full moon, which is usually, I believe, is 28 days. So it gives us 28 days to start working now to become the attraction magnet for all the things that you want to manifest in your world. So it's really about harnessing the energetic frequency that you bring to the intentions that you want. And through going and sitting at the ocean, it allows us to be able to just clear away and cleanse our mind, body, soul, and spirit of any of that conflict that could be going on, and allowing ourselves to bring back to a really beautiful, harmonious place and peaceful place within our own self. So when we set the intentions with the new moon, we really are in alignment and flow with what we have written. It's also really important to remember that your whole body is made up of over 80% of water. So not only is getting near the ocean something that is really beautiful, but also to be able to cleanse away that internal conflict that could be occurring for you, and be able to really shift that old energy vibration around the old way that you languaged yourself. It's so important that you make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. I'll get that out. When we're drinking plenty of water, not only does it nourish our body and fill up our cells with the most vital life force that we need, which is water, but what it does is it cleanses every single cell. So it removes the old toxicity of the old language that's been there. And as you are working so beautifully to implement a new way of language with your own self, that really does become installed in the cells as you fill them up with water. So this is why I've mentioned that this week is all around that soul cleansing, because we are restructuring our language. We are bringing ourselves into bright vibrational frequency, and we want to do that in a really beautiful way where we get to... Sometimes I find that when we go through this inner work, it can be really trying on ourselves. Yet oracle cards are a beautiful way that offer us guidance on how we can do that without it being so tumultuous on our whole self. So water is this gorgeous way to be able to nourish ourselves, to flush everything away, to bring ourselves back into harmony. So allow the guidance that comes through to be able to help you stay in flow, so that you get to optimize this gorgeous energy that is coming through, so that you can be in total flow with what you're writing for your intentions for the new moon. Saturday and Sunday's card comes through, and again is a reminder of your language. So this is why I'm saying soul cleansing is about being incredibly mindful of how you express and how you communicate with your own self and with others, because Mercury retrograde can make us come from a point where we reach a point Basically, Mercury retrograde can make people go a little bit crazy over this time if we choose to work from that space. The one thing I find that a lot of people work from when they think of Mercury retrograde is they think of all the shit that comes with it. You know, people are going to get crazy, communication gets lost in translation, everything turns to shit. But the underlying gorgeousness that comes from it is that the soul aspect of yourself will bring into your awareness to say, hey, enough of speaking to yourself like that. Hey, you are not that. Hey, don't talk to yourself like that. Be kinder, be nicer to yourself. And this is the gorgeous undercurrent of the truth bomb that Mercury retrograde brings up. So the weekend is really going to heighten that internalized language that you have with your own self. And the soul is going to step in and go, that is not what you actually believe. You have got yourself into a pattern of behavior to speak to yourself like this when you get frustrated. Yet there is this whole new different way in which you can communicate to yourself that is kinder, that brings out the best in you, that enables you to elevate yourself to that next level simply through supporting yourself while we go through these amazing energy shifts that occur all the time. Yet sometimes we just stay in that mindful space. We just became mindful of it, but we don't do the inner work. The inner work is where we correct things and bring them back into a better sync with your own self. And this is how we elevate to the next level. So as you can see, that this week is very much based around languaging and soul cleansing away all of the crap ways in which you have spoken to your own self. And guess what? That's immediately going to change the relationship with your own self. And what it's going to do is it's going to increase your standards, where you go, you know what? I'm not going to choose this as being my standard of which I allow myself or tolerate myself to only receive at this level. No, I'm going to up level to this whole new level of standard. So now can you understand the significance of how changing your language is going to have a massive radical change in every area of your life? Not only is it going to help you change and break through old patterns, it's also going to share with you how to be nicer, how to build a better relationship with yourself, how to treat yourself in the way that you actually deserve. So it increases your levels of standard. This on a whole level is going to cleanse your soul of a whole lot of social conditioning, family karmic crap that you've taken on board, and it's going to allow you to start with a fresh, clean slate. But it does require doing that inner work. It's not about having this internalized conflict going on. It's just about bringing awareness in. Don't judge when those old ways in which you've spoken to yourself shows up in your world. It's not about that. It's about just being consciously aware of how many times you do it and how many opportunities that you get to correct that and change that. Because you know what? When you language and express and talk to yourself in a way that makes you feel fabulous, guess what? You're going to go chase your dreams. You're going to believe in yourself more. You're going to have the courage to do things that you wouldn't do before. So there is these massive opportunities this week to really bring yourself into synchronized flow with what you want to set with the new moon. So I really hope everyone has something wonderful that they can take away from this week's energy forecast. Remember, just be gentle with yourself. This year's overall theme is around that femininity and flow and intuition. So your intuition, and which is your soul, is going to communicate to you how to bring about the soul cleansing process and the most optimized way to allow you to move through it in a much more beautiful way of being, and also learning to do things differently with your own self. So I wish you all an incredibly wonderful week. If you feel that this video is something that you would love to share with others, please feel free to be able to share this love around and this information to be able to help as many people as we can. So take care, be kind with yourself, have an incredibly wonderful new moon, and remember to harness this energy right now, because your soul is guiding you every single step of the way. Take care. Much love.